Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome to each and every devotee that's joined us this afternoon for the Iskcon Coventry program. I'll go through the listing. We'll be going to the temple for Srila Prabhupada Arti. Then we'll also have a short message on video from Srila Prabhupada. Like myself, if you got any phones, put them on silent if you're going to be unmuting, because that was somebody at the door. I'm sure the kids will get. So we will have a Srila Prabhupada Arti, then we'll have short message from Srila Prabhupada Ji, then we'll have Bhajan Kirtan. We'll be going to Rugby, to Thakurbai and family and auntie for the messages, and then we'll have a class by Raghupati Prabhuji, continuing on from last week on Lord Ram's appearance. Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. So he'll be continuing on because Ram Navami is on Wednesday. So please do join us on the midday program and the evening program. And then Aarti program will be by Pranva Prabhuji and family. They'll be doing the Bhajan Kirtan. So shall we jump straight across to the temple to start Srila Prabhupada Aarti? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhaka Ki Sadma. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhaka Ki Sadma. Bando Mori Sabadana Mate. Bando Mori Sabadana Mate. Jahara Prasade Bhai Ke Bhavatoriya Jai. Jahara Prasade Bhai Ke Bhavatoriya Jai. Krishna Prati Hoy Jaha Hote. Krishna Prati Hoy Jaha Hote. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sitete Kori Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sitete Kori Aikya. Arana Kori O Mane Asha. Arana Kori O Mane Asha. Sri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati. Sri Guru Charane Rati Nukasane Pure Sarva Asa. Chekudan dilo ke chenma chenma prabhu se. Divya gyan hridye prakashito. Divya gyan hridye prakashito. Prema bhakti jahan hote avidya vinashe jete. Vidya gyan gyan rachito. Lokena lokena divana. Kaha Prabhu tor deya deha more pad deya. Ye Vedas Goshit Tribhuvana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Srila Gurudev Loilo Sharana. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Antakoటి Vaishnava ki jai.
Namo Vishnu Par Paramahansa Pravakacha Shashimad. His Holiness Pari Puja Guru Maharaj ki jai. Vishnu Par Paramahansa Pravakacha Shashimad. His One Grace I.C. Bhakti Vedanta Jagt Guru Shila Prabhupada jai. BBD Fan Jai Jagadguru Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Iskcon Fan Jai Jagadguru Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Iskcon Guru Vrind ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo Jai. Thank you very much, Ravi Tej Prabhu. Thank you for your wonderful service to Shila Prabhupada for doing his arti. So now we will have a short video, a message from Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. Oh, I think we have like a sound issue for the video.
Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam. Human civilization is meant for understanding oneself, what I am, and act according to that. So, Bhagavad says, if we do not come to that point of understanding myself, then whatever I am doing or acting, this is simply defeat or simply waste of time. At the same time, there is warning that we should not waste even a single moment of our life. Please try to understand these Vedic instructions, how nice they are. There is a great politician of the name Chanakya Pandit. He was Prime Minister of Emperor Chandragupta, a contemporary to the reign of Alexander the Great in Greece. So he was Prime Minister of that Emperor Chandragupta, and he has many moral instructions and social instructions. In one of his verses, he says that Ayusha Chanayokopi Nalabhya Sarnakoti bhi. Ayusha of your duration of life. Suppose you are 20 years old. Today is 19th May, and there was 4 p.m. Now, at this time, 4 p.m., 90th May 1969, gone. You can never get it back even if you are prepared to pay millions of dollars. Just try to understand. Similarly, even a moment of your life is wasted for nothing, simply in the matter of sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating and defending, then you do not know the value of your life. You cannot get back even a moment of your life by paying millions of dollars. Just try to understand how much valuable is your life. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is to let people know how much valuable life is his and utilize it in that way. Our movement is Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu. Everyone be happy. Not only human society, even animal society. We want to see everyone happy. That is Krishna consciousness movement. And it is practical. It is not dream. You can become happy. Don't be disappointed. Don't be confused. Your life has value. In this life you can realize your eternal life, eternal blissful life of knowledge. It is possible. It is not impossible. So we are simply transmitting this message to the world that your life is very valuable. Don't waste it just like cats and dogs. Try to utilize it fully. That is the statement in the Bhagavad-Gita. We have published Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Try to read it. In that Bhagavad-Gita, in the 4th chapter, it is said, Janma karmam divyam jo janati tattata. It simply tries to understand what is Krishna, what is his business, what is his life, What does he live? What does he do? Janma karma. Janma means appearance and disappearance. Karma means activities. Divyam, transcendental. Janma karma me divyam. Jo janati tatata. One who knows the appearance and activities of Krishna in fact, in truth, not by sentiment, but by scientific study, then the result is tattadeham punarjanma naiti mamiti kaunte. Simply by understanding Krishna, you will no more have to come back to this miserable condition of material existence. This is fact. Even in your life, in this life, you will understand. You will be happy.
Jai, what a wonderful message by Srila Prabhupada. I thought it was very, very apt for the current time. And with the devotees from the Zoom every evening after Aarti when they're reading Ramayana. So Lord Ram was the best example of a human being. So Srila Prabhupada says, we can achieve, we can go back. And who gave the best example? Sri Ram. So that was wonderful. Whoever picked that, they did a wonderful service, bringing it all together of the last few weeks of reading Ramayana, and then Srila Prabhupada confirming, and then Sri Ram coming as the best of the human, giving us an example to follow. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And I also forgot that we are going to be having a cake cutting because it is Nandini's birthday today. So happy birthday, Nandini, and may you have many more. And then soon now we are going to go across to the Kirtanis for today. So first it'll be Thakurabai, and then it'll be Alpa Mataji, and then Akai Mataji. So let's go across to Thakurabai and Auntie. Are they ready for Kirtans?
Hey, bol, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol Prabhuji, Go Ranga. Where are you?
Okay.
Oh, Jai. Go Ranga. I couldn't see you. I can see you now, Jai. So what bhajan are you doing? Are you going to be doing bhajan about Lord Ram?
Yes, we were discussing with on was it last Friday or something? You know, after the Katha, you know, Ramayan Katha. We said, you know, I couldn't. I'm not sure about sort of singing on Thursday, you know. So Haridas sort of said, you know, sing on Sunday. So I thought, you know.
Jai. Thank
So
you.
I'll sing a little bit about like a stuti, you know, for Sri Ram, and then and a little bhajan, you know.
Yes, yes.
Again, I think Surdas' bhajan. It's quite a simple one, actually, you know. So basically, Hamare Nirdhan ke Dhan Ram.
Jai Ho.
Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Loka Viramam Ranarang Dhiram Rajiv Netram Raghuvanshanatam Karunya Rupam Karunam Karantam Sri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye Sri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye. हमारे निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम। चोर न लेत घटत नाहि कब, चोर न लेत घटत नाहि कब, आवत घड़े काम, निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम। जल नहीं बूढ़त अग्नि न दाहत, जल नहीं बूढ़त अग्नि न दाहत, ऐसे सो हर नाम, निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम। वैकुंठनाथ सकल सुखदाता, वैकुंठनाथ सकल सुखदाता, सूरदास सुखधाम, निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम, हमारे निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम, निर्धन के धन राम। सीताराम 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 सीताराम। जय श्री राधे। हरे कृष्ण।
Yeah, that was wonderful, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But so sweet, but so short.
This is short.
Yeah. I think you should do one more.
Well, I can sing another bhajan. Well, it's like a stuti again. Just
Yeah,
bear
yeah.
with me.
Let's have one more, so you can bless our ears with the stuti of Sri Ram before we go off to the next kirtaniya. Because it's wonderful to listen to the bhajans of the Lord, glorifying Him. That's how we remember. Listening to the devotees glorifying the Lord, whether it's through class, kirtan, bhajans, dancing.
Okay, right. Shri Ramachandra Bhavan ki
Jai.
Shri Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Shri Ramachandra Krupalo Bhajamana Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam Kanjalocan Kanja Mukh Kar Kanja Pad Kanjanam Shri Ram Shri Ram Kandarpaya Ganita Yamita Chabi Navanila Nirada Sundaram Pachapitamana Tarita Ruchi Suchi Naumi Janaka Sutta Sri Ramachandra Krupalu Bhajamana Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam Bhaj Dina Bandhu Dinesh Dana Daitya Vanshani Kandanam Patapita Manam Tarita Ruchi Suchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Sri Ram Sri Ram Bhaj Dina Bandhu Dinesh Dana Daitya Vanshani Kandanam Raghunanda Ananda Kanda Kaushal Chanda Dasarath Nandanam Sri Ram Sri Ram Shira Mukuta Kundala Tilaka Charu Udaru Anga Vishbhushanam Ajanu Bhuja Shar Chapadarsham Gram Jita Khaladushanam Sri Ram Sri Ram Iti vadati tulsi dash sanka shesha muni man ranjanam mamaradaya kunja nivaru kuruka madin khaladala ganjanam Sri Ram Sri Ram Sri Ramachandra Krupalu Bhajama Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam Navakanjalochana Kanja Mukhakar Kanja Pad Kanjanam Sri Ram Sri Ram
Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri
Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Sakshi.
Jai Gauranga. Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji. That was wonderful. Thank you for doing the second bhajan. Honestly, it's really is pleasing to the heart and soul and the ears for the sound to travel down to the heart and listen to the Lord's name. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gauranga. So now we'll go across to Alpa Mataji to do the next bhajan.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. I can't see you. Do I need to scroll across the?
Now you can.
Oh, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho.
Hari Bol. Actually, I should be singing the Ram Stuti, what Thakur Bhai already sing.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
So you can pick another one.
I did. I put the okay. I'm singing now.
Jai,
Sri Ram
you
Bhagwan ki
you look
jai.
like a demigod is just floating about because you got this virtual backdrop of San Francisco Bridge and you're floating up and down. So it's like you're coming to visit us to planet Earth. So let's hope as you're going to bless us with a Ram Bhajan, dear sister.
I'm doing now.
Jai Ho.
Thank you very much for giving me chance for to sing the Ram Bhajans today.
Lord's mercy.
Yeah. Hey Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Ram. जग में साचो तेरो नाम है राम, है राम। तू ही माता, तू ही पिता है, तू ही माता, तू ही पिता है, तू ही है राधा का श्याम, है राम, है राम, हे राम, है राम। तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तेरे चरणों में चारों धाम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। तू ही बिगाड़े, तू ही सवारे, तू ही बिगाड़े, तू ही सवारे, इस जग के सारे काम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। तू ही जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही जगदाता विश्व विधाता, तू ही सुबह तू ही शाम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। जग में साचो तेरो नाम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। राधे राधे।
Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Because it's a very short, and definitely other Ram Stuti is a longer than this, so is a less time. If you want to, I can sing in carry on Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Wow, yeah, have 1 or 2 minutes of singing Jai Jai Shri Ram
Okay.
while you're floating in the sky. Jai Ho.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Shri Radhe.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Sri Ram Jaya 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 Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Kausalya Nandala Siya Ram, Kausalya Nandala Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Dasaratha Nandana Sitaram, Dasaratha Nandana Sitaram, Sri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram, Sri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Sri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai.
Jai Shri Siya Ram Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Thank you very much, Alpant. So now let's move across, because I'm already making myself run behind. Let's go across to Akai Mataji for the next bhajan. Oh, did I pronounce that right? It is Akai. Aki.
Haribol.
Haribol, you are there. Let's, can you bless our ears with the transcendental vibration of the Lord's holy name? Your bhajan.
I'll sing a Bengali bhajan. Would you like a translation before?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So it's a bhajan about two brothers, Nimai and Gaur. So it's saying the two brothers came to this world and they always have tears in their eyes whenever they say Harinam. Shall I start, Prabhu?
Yes, please.
যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা আপনি কেঁদে জগৎ কাঁদায় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা আপনি কেঁদে জগৎ কাঁদান তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা মা রেখে প্রেম যাচ্ছে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা মা রেখে প্রেম যাচ্ছে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা ব্রজের কানাই বলায় যারা ব্রজের মাখন চোর তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা ব্রজের কানাই বলায় যারা ব্রজের মাখন চোর তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যাদের হরিগতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা জাতির বিচার নাহি করে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা জাতির বিচার নাহি করে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা আপনি মেতে জগৎ মাতায় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা আপামরে বলে দেয় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা আপনি মেতে জগৎ মাতায় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। তারা দুভাই এসেছে তারা দুভাই এসেছে তারা দুভাই এসেছে। যারা হরি হয়ে হরি বলে তারা দুভাই এসেছে। যারা হরি হয়ে হরি বলে তারা দুভাই এসেছে। যারা হরি হয়ে হরি বলে যারা জগায় বাধায় উদ্ধারিল তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা হরি হয়ে হরি বলে যারা জগায় বাধায় উদ্ধারিল তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল মন আমার। হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল মন আমার। যারা পামরে বলে দেয় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা পামরে বলে দেয় তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা পূর্বর নাহি বাঁচে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যারা পূর্বর নাহি বাঁচে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। চিত্তরথের গৌর নিতাই চিত্তরথের নিতাই গৌর তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। চিত্তরথের গৌর নিতাই চিত্তরথের নিতাই গৌর তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। যাদের হরি বলতে নয়ন ঝরে তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। তারা দুভাই এসেছে তারা দুভাই এসেছে, তারা দুভাই এসেছে, যারা আপনি কেঁদে জগৎ কাঁদায়, তারা দুভাই এসেছে, যারা মারিকে প্রেম যাচ্ছে, তারা দুভাই এসেছে, যারা ব্রজের কানায় বলায়, যারা ব্রজের মাখন চোর, তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে, যারা ব্রজের কানায় বলায়, যারা ব্রজের মাখন চোর, তারা তারা দুভাই এসেছে রে। হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল মন আমার, হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল মন আমার, হরি বলো, হরি বলো, হরি বলো ভাই রে, হরি নাম বিনে আর অন্য কিছু নাই রে, হরি বলো, হরি বলো, হরি বলো ভাই রে, হরি নাম বিনে আহু তুলে, হরি বলো ভাই রে, নিচে নিচে বাহু তুলে, হরি বলো ভাই রে, প্রেমানন্দে বাহু তুলে, হরি বলো ভাই রে, নিচে নিচে বাহু তুলে, হরি বলো ভাই রে, হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল মন আমার, হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল মন আমার, হরি বল।
Jai Gauranga. Thank you very much, Aki Mataji. That was wonderful bhajan to the lotus feet of Sri Satyananda Nitai Chand, Nitai and Nimai. Jai, thank you very much.
Hari Bol.
So sorry for delaying Raghupati, because I just kept extending the kirtans. I think you've been waiting now, so it's over to you now, Prabhuji. Raghupati will be doing Jai Radha Madhav and then going into the glorification of Sri Ram. Jai Ho. Raghupati Prabhu Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So it's such a pleasure to be here, the devotees in Coventry and everywhere else, wherever you're listening from. So I'm just going to carry on the bhajans that have been sung this afternoon, and sing a very short bhajan from Srila Jayadeva Goswami. This is a Mangal Geet, which is sung in Jagannath Puri for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath. And this describes various incarnations of Krishna. And I'm just going to sing the stanza which describes incarnation of Lord Ram so beautifully. Janak Suta Krutu Bhushana Jito Dushana Janak Suta Krutu Bhushana Jito Dushana Samarashamito Dashukanta Jaya Jaya Devu Hari Jaya Jaya Devu Hari Janak Suta Krutu Bhushana Jito Dushana Samarashamito Dashikanta Jaya Jaya Devo Hare, Jaya Jaya Devo Hare. Shri Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman ki Jai. So this beautiful Mangal Geet, composed by Shri Jayadev Goswami, is describing, "O my dear Lord Shri Ramchandra, all glories to you. You are an ornament to Janak Nandani, the daughter of Maharaj Janak, Sita Devi. You are the conqueror of Dushan, Khar and Dushan, these two invincible demons. O my Lord, obeisance is to you, who pacifies, or in other words, who defeats Ravana by cutting off his 10 heads. Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Om Jnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yen Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadikam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenbandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanto Radha Kant Namostute Tapti Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalptaru Bhayasya Kripa Sindhu Bhevicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Ramaya Ramachandraya Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pate Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we continue with Shri Ram Katha that we started last week. And we introduced one shloka Ramayana, entire Ramayana contained in one shloka, Eka Shloki Ramayana. So I'm going to continue reading, covering the pastimes, entire Ramayana covered in one shloka or one stanza. Ado Ram Tapobanadi Gamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchan Vaidehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudritaranam Lankapuri Dahanam Paschat Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam Etat Hi Ramayana. So entire Ramayana explained in this beautiful stanza. It says in the scripture, Ek ek aksharam unsam mahapataknashanam. That every syllable, every word in glorification of Lord Ramchandra. In other words, Ramayana destroys Mahapatak, the great heaps of sinful activities. So Ramayana is a very powerful, extremely powerful. Last week we covered Lord Shri Ram appeared and then he goes to the forest first time, accompanying Vishwamitra Muni, and after successfully protecting his yajna, the Lord marries Sita Devi along with his brothers, marrying other sisters or cousin sisters of Sita Devi. Then the Lord leaves Ayodhya because Kaikeyi has been misadvised by mantra, and Kaikeyi asks for two boons, and one of them is to exile the banishment of Lord Ramchandra to the forest for 14 years. So great amount of time, a majority of Lord Ramchandra's time was spent in Chitrakoot. So you heard last week that the Lord spent many years of his exile in Chitrakoot. And towards the end of his exile, then he decided to go to Panchavati. Chitrakoot is in Uttar Pradesh, North India, and not far from where I was born and brought up. So we used to go to Chitrakoot to circumambulate Kamadgiri, just like people go to Giriraj Parikrama. So we used to go to Kamadgiri Parikrama. And last week we heard about Chitrakoot and Lord Ramchandra defeating Karan Dushan, then being incited by his sister Surpanakha, Ravan comes to abduct Sita Devi. So this is where we left last week. So before Ravana abducted Sita Devi, he went to Marich, his uncle, and Marichi, although a demon, he tries to dissuade Ravana not to do so. He said, I have seen the unsurpassable influence of Ramchandra. He is not a human being. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you should just be peaceful with the queens that you have in your palace and give up this idea of abducting Sita Devi. But Ravana, he was very lusty. And the way Surpanakha had described Sita Devi's beauty, so he was burning with lust. Now you can imagine the unsurmountable lust that Ravana had. He had thousands of princesses and many queens in his palace. And still, wherever and whenever he saw some beautiful young girls, he would go kill her parents in front of her eyes. And then when the girl is grieving in that state, in her grieving state, he will force her to come to Lanka and force her to become his queen. So that was his habit. So he had been doing this for many, many years. And Ravana was so lusty that he went to Nagaloka. And in Nagaloka, he found these beautiful Naga princesses. So Nagaloka, they are actually snakes, serpents. But half of their body is human-like. And half of their body is like snakes, serpents. So Ravana was so lusty that even from Nagaloka, he brought these Nagkanyas and forced them to become his queens. And they were forced to remain in human form because of the fear of Ravana. These Nagkanyas or Nagalokas, as these serpents, they have mystic powers. So out of fear of Ravana, these Nagkanyas, they remain in human form for his lustful enjoyment. So Ravana did not listen to Marich, and he comes in the form of his sannyasi. So one sinful act leads to another sin. A very sinful act, thinking, to abduct Sita Devi for his enjoyment, and leads to cheating propensity. So he hid himself in the guise of a sannyasi and came and asked for alms from Sita Devi. Now before that, Mother Sita heard the cries of Marich, who screamed, Ram, Lakshman, Lakshman, Sita, Sita, protect me. So that was Marich. Just before he died, he screamed, he shouted out the names of Lord Ramchandra. So when Sita Devi heard this cry, she forced Lakshmana to go and protect his brother. So Lakshmana was gone to protect or to find out what happened to Lord Ramchandra. Although Lakshmana tried to dissuade Mother Sita, there's nobody who can defeat her husband. Her husband is invincible to all species of life. But Mother Sita was so overwhelmed with grief, anxiety, that she forced Lakshmana to go. So Ravana abducted Sita Devi. As soon as she came to give alms to this Rakshasa, he took her on his Pushpak Viman. So Pushpak Viman is an aeroplane made of very subtle elements, and it does not need any petrol or gas. Pushpak Viman was actually given to Kuber, Ravana's half-brother. By the mercy of Lord Shiva, he achieved this Pushpak Viman, which could travel with the speed of mind and through the mind. So as soon as a person sat on the Pushpak Viman, it desired to go anywhere, Pushpak Viman will take him. So this was a wonderful aeroplane. So Ravana was then abducting Sita Devi. He was going through the aerial ways or skyways, and Sita Devi was grieving piteously. So while she was grieving, she saw 5 monkeys on a mountain top, And very quickly, she tore apart her sari and put her ornaments, some of her ornaments, and then threw them on the ground. She requested the monkeys that if Lord Ramchandra, my husband, comes this way, please tell him that I have been abducted by this Rakshasa Ravana. And by looking at these ornaments, you will recognize that this was me. So Sita Devi left a clue for Lord Ramchandra to recognize her. So here we are, Hatva Mrigam Kanchana. The Lord killed this golden deer, Marich. Vedehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam. Sita has been abducted, then Jatayu Maranam. So while going through the aerial ways, Ravana passed Jatayu. Jatayu is the king of the vultures. But he was a great friend of Maharaj Dashrath, Lord Ramchand's father. And he also happened to be the brother of another vulture, great vulture called Sampati. He played a very important role, Sampati, who was a brother of Jatayu. So there are many beautiful stories in Ramayana about the greatness of these two vultures. Although by species they were vultures, but they were great devotees of Lord Ramchandra. So when Jatayu heard the pleas of Sita Devi, he came to her rescue. And when he came to know that Sita was actually daughter-in-law and of his great friend Maharaj Dashrath, and she had been abducted by Ravana, he first of all tried to dissuade Ravana, pacify him with good instructions. So there are elaborate instructions Jatayu has given, because Jatayu knew that Ravana is invincible. Because of the boons he had from Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, he was invincible. So he dissuaded him. And then finally, he came to the conclusion that Ravana is not going to free Sita Devi. So then he decided. He says, Avashyam tu maya karyam priyam tasya mahatmana jivitena api ramasya tatha dasarathasya cha. But I'm definitely going to give up my life in order to serve, do some pleasing activity. In order to please Lord Ram and my great friend Dashrath, I'm definitely going to give up my life now. As long as I'm alive, this Ravana cannot take a Sita Devi, who is like my daughter-in-law. So Jatayu then started fighting. There was a great fight. And at one point, Jatayu actually dislocated Ravana's 10 hands. So Ravana had several hands, 10 heads, and then several hands. So he dislocated Ravana's 10 left hands. So he must have 10 right hand, 10 left hands, 20 hands. But because Ravana had this boon, a nectar in his abdomen, so immediately his hands sprouted like a flower. like a tree, immediately those hands grew up. When this happened, Ravana became very angry. Then he decided to kill Jatayu. But instead of killing him completely, he cut off his wings. So for a bird, their wings are their life. If they don't have wings, then they won't survive. Eventually they will die. So he cut off the wings of Jatayu. Immediately Jatayu then fell off the ground. And he started remembering Lord Ram. Mother Sita, she was grieving like a daughter will grieve for her father. But Jatayu was like her father in affection. But Ravana was so cruel that he left Jatayu to die and then took Sita Devi to Lanka. So Vedehi Haranam, Jatayu Maranam. Now before Jatayu dies, he has to do an important work. And that is give Lord Ramchandra a message that Sita has been taken by Ravana. Sugriva Sambhashanam. So Mahatma Jatayu, the great soul Jatayu, he was grieving there, just waiting for Lord Ramchandra to come. Somehow or other, keeping his breath, so that he could keep that energy, some energy, and give this message to Lord Ramchandra. Jatayu is a great example of a devotee. So a devotee may know that in some conditions, we may not be able to serve Krishna as we would like. But Krishna sees the intention. Bhavo hi vidyate devo tasmad bhavo hi karana. The Supreme Lord sees our bhav, the mood of worship. Because of this bhav, the Lord appears in the deity form to accept our worship. So bhavo hi vidyate devo. The Supreme Lord resides in the bhav of a devotee. So he appreciates the bhav, or the mood, the loving mood of service of a devotee. Sugriva Sambhashanam. Then Lord Ramchandra saw Lakshman, and he asked Lakshman, why did you leave Sita Devi on her own? Lakshman said, she forced me. Then Lord Ramchandra told him that actually we have been cheated by this demon, Marich. That deer was not a golden deer. It was an illusory deer. In our lives, we all want this golden deer. But actually Maya is presenting these golden deers in front of our eyes. So Lakshman, who is the Adi Guru, spiritual master, he warns us, just like Lakshman warned Lord Ramchandra and Sita Devi. He warned Sita Devi that this is not a golden deer. I suspect this may not be a golden deer, because a golden deer is very, very rare. But Sita Devi insisted, no, I want it. So spiritual master warns the disciple that this illusory enjoyment is not as it appears. This is not a golden deer. This is illusory. And if you run after it, then there's simply misery and only misery. So this happens in our lives time and time again. But we run after some golden deer, and that illusory deer is not a deer, it is actually a demon disguised as a deer. And then we end up in a misery. So Lord Ramchandra is showing by his own example that what happens when we run after to fulfill our desires in that illusory way. Although Lord Ramchandra, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mother Sita is his eternal consort, but he's setting an example. What happens? So then Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman, they start grieving, and the Lord is so absorbed. He is so overwhelmed with grief that he is asking the trees, the birds, mountains, he's asking the nature, have you seen Sita Devi? He khag mrug, he madhukar shreni, tum dekhi Sita mragnaye. O birds, O deers, O bumblebees, have you seen my dear Sita, whose eyes are like deer? So the Lord is grieving like normal human being. And there are many beautiful stories, amazing stories of Lord Ramchandra and meeting Shabari, a very dear devotee, who had been waiting to see the Lord throughout her life. And in her old age, she was still waiting to see him. So the Lord then obliges Shabari by going to her cottage and accepting her offering of plums. From there, then Lord Ramchandra goes to meet Sugriva. Shabari actually tells him where Sugriva is. He says that your purposes will be fulfilled by meeting Sugriva. So Shabari also had mystic powers, and she was very powerful, a devotee of the Lord. So from there, Lord Ramchandra then goes to Sugriva, meet Sugriva. But the way, the forest way is very difficult, and they don't know which way to go. So Shabari then guides them. But in the meantime, Sugriva comes to know that two princesses are looking for him. So he sends Hanumanji to test who they are and why they have come to see him. So Hanumanji goes in the form of a Brahmana, and in perfectly Vedic Sanskrit, he speaks to them. So Lord Ramchandra, being the Supreme Lord, recognizes him, but he is playing the game. So eventually, when Hanumanji comes to know that the Lord of his heart, Shri Ram, is in front of him, he becomes overwhelmed with emotions. He surrenders, and then he takes them on his shoulders to meet Sugriva. Sugriva Sambhashana. So Sugriva then pacifies the Lord, or he tries to pacify the Lord. But in the meantime, Lord Ramchandra also asks him that why are you not living in your kingdom? So Sugriva then tells him that his brother Bali has not only taken his kingdom, but he has also taken his wife. So Lord Ramchandra becomes very sorry, and he then vows to kill Bali and help Sugriva regain his kingdom and his wife. But Sugriva is doubtful whether the Lord can achieve this or not. So he says that, my dear Lord, if you can pierce the 7 trees with one arrow, that will actually give me confidence that you can kill Bali. So Bali and Sugriva, they had the same form. And eventually, Lord Ramchandra kills him from behind the tree, because Bali, he had a boon that anyone who comes to fights with him, half of the power of his opponent will be transferred to Bali. So nobody could kill him. So face to face, nobody could kill him. That's why Lord Ramchandra, he kills him from behind the tree. So Bali, then eventually, Sugriva and Bali, they eventually incarnate as Karna and Arjuna in Mahabharata. So that's also a great story. Bali is the son of Indra, like Arjuna was. And Sugriva was son of Suryadeva, like Karna was. So there's a connection between Mahabharata and Ramayana. Sugriva Sambhashanam, Lord Ramchandra assures Bali, he kills Bali, installs Sugriva as the king of the monkeys. And then Sugriva sends his army to find the news of Sita Devi. So at that time, then Sugriva gives Lord Ramchandra those ornaments that Sita Devi has through from the Pushpak Viman. Lord Ramchandra immediately recognizes those ornaments, that they do belong to Sita Devi. Sugriva Sambhashanam, Bali Nigrahanam. Samudra Taranam. Then Hanumanji goes to Lanka, finds out about Sita Devi, and he comes back. For doing this service, Hanumanji is praised very highly by Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra considers Hanumanji like one of his brothers. So now there's a task to go to Lanka, conquer Lanka, and bring back Sita Devi. Now when they come to Lanka, there is this vast Indian Ocean. So how are they going to cross this? Lord Ramchandra has the power to ask the ocean to give him way. But he rather takes a humble position. And in the meantime, Ravana comes to know that Ram is coming to conquer Lanka. Sugriva is heading the monkey army along with Jamavant. And now they are waiting on the other side of Lanka, on the shore of the ocean, to come to Lanka and conquer. So Ravana is already worried. And Vibhishan, his younger brother, goes to him and tries to persuade to return Sita Devi with respect and surrender to Lord Ramchandra. So Ravana does not like this advice. He kicks Vibhishan, and then Vibhishan decides to leave Ravana and go and surrender to Lord Ramchandra. Now, when Vibhishan comes, all the monkey king, great monkey warriors, they say we should capture him and punish him or kill him. So Lord Ramchandra says, no. Anyone who comes to my shelter, I can't do it. I'm just going to read the statement of Lord Ramchandra. So beautiful, very assuring, self-assuring statement. Sakadeva prapannaya tavasmiti chayachate abhyam sarvabhutebhyo dadami tat vritam. Anyone who comes to me and even once says Sakadeva, even once says Tavasmi, Tavasmi. So even once somebody says Tavasmi, my dear Lord, I am yours. Tavasmi, I am yours. What happens to such a person who goes to Lord Ramchandra and says once Tavasmi, my dear Lord, I am yours. Abhyam sarvabhutebhyo dadami etat vritam. Lord Ramchandra is saying that this is my vow, that I'll make such a person fearless. This is very similar to the instructions in Bhagavad-Gita, the last instruction in Bhagavad-Gita. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshishyami ma sucha. So Lord Ramchandra accepts Vibhishan. Samudra Taranam. Then, with the advice of his minister, he prays to this ocean god, Varunadeva. But Varunadeva does not listen. He does not pay any attention. So after 3 days praying to Varunadeva with fasting and prayers, then Lord Ramchandra becomes a little angry. He says to Lakshmana, bring my bow and arrow. I'm going to evaporate this ocean with just one arrow. So when Lord Ramchandra looks at the ocean angrily, immediately the waters of the ocean go on a boiling point. And all the aquatics, fishes, crocodiles, they start burning. So then ocean comes and surrenders to Lord Ramchandra. And with the advice of the ocean god Varunadeva, then the Lord decides to make a bridge on Lanka, another unparalleled activity. So just by writing the names of Lord Ramchandra, the stones, big stones, start floating. And Nal and Neel, who are the architects of the demigods, they make a beautiful bridge on Lanka. So if you go to South India, there are still stones that float in the water. Bhaktivinoda Swami once posted a picture of a stone, floating stone. There are stones there that float in the water. So Bali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam. Then the Lord goes to Lanka, surpassing the ocean. Paschat Ravana Kumbhakaranam Hananam Etad hi Ramayana. So after that, Lord Ramchandra fights with Ravana and Kumbhakarna. He defeats them. These two personalities were invincible. Ravana was invincible, so was his brother. Nobody could defeat them. Indra was like a puppet. Indra was afraid of Ravana. So were the demigods. So in the entire creation, Ravana has created havoc. Ravana was the forefather of all the terrorists, like Hiranyakashipu. So these modern terrorists, they are only sample or tiny Ravanas. So Ravana was their forefather. But Lord Ramchandra, he kills Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Etadhi Ramayana. So this is Ramayana in brief. Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. So it's already 2:06. There are any comments or questions? Possibly we can spend a minute or so. If not, then Aarti is ready. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Raghupati Prabhuji, what a wonderful service you have done in 2 Sundays. And I liked it at the end when you said, you said, this is the Ramayana Katha in brief. Because you were taking the devotees but very quickly all the way from even when you told the Leela about Jatayu, and then from Jatayu to Sugriva to Bali. I mean, there's so much I mean, as you are like a scripturally studied individual devotee and know so much, and it must have been very difficult for you to try and to decide how many bits to give the devotees and to finish it so they get from the start to the end. So that was a wonderful service to the devotees. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your kind words.
No, it's genuine, Prabhuji. No, not kind. It's yours. It's factual. Kind is to be somebody has to go out of their way to be kind, but this is natural. To you, it comes naturally, but to decide how much of the Lord's message to leave out so you can go from the birth to Lanka that quickly in 2 Sundays, and that within less than an hour. Jai, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Jai Ho. So now we will go to the Aarti, which will be sung by Pranva Prabhuji and family. Who's Goranga? Where's the pinning of the pages?
Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Sachinandana Jaya Nitai Chan Shiva Jaya Jaya Goya Chande Aroti Krishna Shiva দেবগানে আরতি করে না ব্রহ্মা আদি দেবগানে নারায়ণী আদি করি
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivratakarya Sri Srimad Abhay Saranavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivratakarya Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Sakshat Gora Gomati Srila Gaur Krishnadas Vajan Maharaj Ki Jai. Satchit Ananda Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Dev Maharaj Ki Jai. Sarv Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namaskar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Sri Satchidananda Nitaya Chand Ki Jai. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Sudarshan Maharaj Ki Jai. Nilachal Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda Radha Madhav Radha Raman Bhagwan Ki Jai. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Bajrang Bali Hanuman Ji Maharaj Ki Jai. Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Sudarshan Maharaj Ki Jai. Manima Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Pancharatta Bhagwan Ki Jai. Paramadhanapur Pavan Shila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Iskcon Coventry Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gold Ramanandi, all glories to the single devotees. All glories to the single devotees. All glories to the single devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Ho. Jai.
Jai. What a wonderful aarti that was. And I forgot to mention the wonderful dressing of the lordships today. I mean, they look absolutely festively dressed. They look great. Honestly, the reds, the yellows, the blues, they look fabulous. So we're going to do Narsinga Aarti, and it'll be Arjun Prabhudas will be doing it. But before we move on, I'll just read a list of names. So it has become a list because there's so much going on around the world due to the coronavirus and other illnesses and devotees needing help. So it's not we're saying for one name or two names. So let's pray for the Lord's mercy and shelter and protection for all the devotees all around the world. So let's pray for speedy recovery for His Holiness Jayapataka Swami and the care team, His Holiness Bhakti Prashota Maharaj, His Holiness Atma Nivedan Maharaj, His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu. And for the departed souls that's moved on to their next journey is Ken Prabhuji, Sardar Kamaljeet Singh, Rita Tandon, Luke, Kaushal Bhai, Ram Nik, Lakhani, Ishani's Chachaji, Naresh Ravi Kiran Prabhu's cousin, Mitai Mohan, and Vidur Prabhu's Pitaji has also this week departed for his next journey. So for the good health of devotees, we got Vinod Manjri Mataji's health, Prema Manjri Auntie, Neela Ben, Shraddha Devi, Hamsini Devi and family, Srimati, Kavita and Sanjay Bajaj, Ghadadhar Prabhu, Vinod Manjri's father, Prem Malan, Mochan Bhai Chauhan, Mohit Agrawal, Raj Rishi, and Kala Patel, or is it Kala Patel? So Arjun Prabhuji, if you meditate on the Lord.
Here, sorry Prabhuji. Also letting you know, Bibu Prabhu got corona positive, has been tested corona positive. Can we add his name? Bibu Prabhu.
So we're also doing for Bibi Gaur Prabhu. If those of you can remember, he was our Pujari who recently went back. So he's tested positive. So if there's anybody else or any other devotee remembers that somebody they know or they heard of, please think of them as the Pujari offers perfume to the Lord. And then Arjun Prabhu, if you can start nursing a prayer.
Hare Krishna Broji, and also my mom's, my uncle and wife who have also not got good health.
Jai Ho. So if you meditate on them and all the devotees, Prabhuji.
Namaste Narasingaya, Namaste Narasingaya, Prahlad वचः हिरण्यकशिपु वचः शिलटङ्कानकालये शिलटङ्कानकालये हितो न शमो परतो न शमो हितो न सिंहो परतो न सिंहो यतो यतो यमिततो न शमो यतो यतो यमिततो न सिंहो बाहे न शः हृदये न शः बाहे न सिंहो हृदये न सिंहो न सिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे न सिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव तव कमलबले मद्भुतसिंहाय दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु केशवदीपा हरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु केशवदीपा हरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदीपा हरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदीपा हरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो प्रहलाद जय हो प्रहलाद जय हो प्रहलाद जय हो प्रहलाद जय हो प्रभुपादा जय हो प्रभुपादा जय हो प्रभुपादा जय हो प्रभुपादा जय हो गुरु महाराज जय हो गुरु महाराज जय हो गुरु महाराज जय हो गुरु महाराज जय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौरा हरि बोल 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 सिंहदेव की जय राज महाराज की जय प्रभुपाद की जय महाराज की जय बोल गौरव
Jai Ho. So now we're going to be celebrating Nandini's first birthday. It's a shame we're in a lockdown. We missed the opportunity of so many different cakes to be honored by the devotees. But you know, what must be in this current lockdown? So let's see if I can. Jai. Oh, where's the lordships gone? Nandini, maybe the lordships. Nandini, you look very well dressed, the whole family. Jai Ho.
Yeah.
Hey, you look like a Bharatiya royal family. Oh, wow, that cake. Can you give us a view of the cake, Prabhuji? That looks wonderful. Oh, wow, Jai. Wow, Nandini, you're very special to your family. You got a wonderful cake and a wonderful decoration. So are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have a joke, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Gaura Prabhuji, you keep licking the cake. You need to wait for your sister to cut it first. I thought I was keen and missing out, but you seems to be making up for it. Jai, I wish Haridas Prabhu was on. Then we could sing like a Jota se Jota. Where is Haridas Prabhu? Oh, Jai Ho, Jai Ho.
ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो की गंगा आते चलो राह में आए जो दीन दुखी राह में आए जो दीन दुखी उसको हैप्पी बर्थडे कहते चलो ready Nandini
Haribol. Girl.
Are we ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nandini. Happy birthday.
Now you have to
Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna.
Can you please take it from just in case it was
Well done. Big round of applause. Speech, please, from Nandini.
Say Haribol. Thank you.
Haribol. Jai Sri Radhe. Put some cake into her mouth. Let's hear it. Oh, she's gone. Oh, there you are. Come on, Nandini, eat it. Jai Krishna, feed your sister.
Yeah.
Put some cake in her mouth. There you are.
Small piece.
He likes it.
Yes, take it.
Oh, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Here we go. There you are. Okay. Very nice. Wonderful. Very good. Everybody's looking so good. Oh, I like the balloons and everything at the back. Wonderful. I mean, today when you did Prabhupada's Aarti, Ravi Tej was wearing this blue kurta, and I thought it looks like some special occasion. Premanji goes now, he's dressed up for Srila Prabhupada. I later on realized he wasn't, he was for Nandini. Oh, they caught you. Very beautiful. I was holding, looks very nice. Loads of blessings from all the devotees. I want all the devotees to put your hands up like that and let's chant Maha Mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Twice that? One more left. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Blessings from Sachinandanita Chand and all the devotees and your Gurudev all the way from Mayapur. Jai, excellent. Well done.
Thank you very much.
What you going to hear?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. The present is in the shop. The present is in the shop because of lockdown. All right. Thank you, Patapavan. That was good emceeing. And the whole program was very good. Everybody sang and it was beautiful. And the class by Raghupati was excellent. So we'll see you on Ram Navami. And I think you got an announcement to make by Ram Navami timings.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you got it. All right. All right. Well done. Everything is beautiful. Jai Ho.
No, thank you very much, Haridas Prabhu, for coming on. I was waiting for who was going to do Jota se Jota, but then suddenly you came on straight away. So Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Thank you very much. Jai, thank you very much, Ravi Tej Prabhu, for celebrating with the temple. and may your daughter have many, many more.
Hare
Gauranga. So thank you very much this evening for the devotees joining us from all across the UK. As we will continue on to next week, as normal, we will be having the evening daily darshan and aarti. But then we must remember on Wednesday, I think it is the Wednesday, the 21st, the date is more important than the day. So it's the 21st. So it is a Wednesday. We are going to be celebrating Ram Navami, and all the devotees, as normal, will have the opportunity to offer bhoga to Sachinanda Nitai Chan. So all those devotees, please look, keep a lookout on WhatsApp, on the different groups. Links have already been sent, I believe, by Anuragi. So keep a lookout. So the times are given, 12 o'clock for the offering, and then 12:30 will be the Bhoga Aarti, where you'll be able to take darshan of the Lord. And then in the evening on Wednesday, the program will restart, I believe, from 7 p.m. And that will be with, again, Aarti, class, Kirtans by different devotees, and Katha. So if I got the timings wrong, dear devotees, please keep a lookout on the WhatsApp groups, which all should be in. If not, please join. I think Anuragi has sent another link out again saying, register here if you wish to join a group. But just like any other festival, even though the temple is on a lockdown, everything costs in life. So please donate generously for Lord Ram's appearance day, so the festival can be celebrated in a doom-dam way without any constraints. The only other message I will give out is that as we can see all around the world, the coronavirus cases are going up, even in Bharat, even though the cases are considered going down in the UK, the virus hasn't left us yet. So just remember, be mindful, take care, and Jai. Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Hari Bol. Patita Pavan Das signing off at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas.